Yes, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring. You just stare.
Literally we've done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally look at each other and time
on a sociopath.
and time stops.
Yeah.
But that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's
And they score again.
no. It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
A new report online suggests that WME was trying to get Blake to be a presenter at the Golden Globes but was declined, which was likely due to the bad press that she was getting while promoting It Ends With Us, which ultimately spearheaded the whole lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. And also noticeably absent was Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman.
Hollywood insiders have reportedly distanced themselves from Blake Lively after a controversial leaked video surfaced, sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry. The footage, which appears to contradict the star's long-established, polished public persona, has ignited a fierce debate among critics, fans, and industry figures alike. Insiders say that the contents of the video have raised serious questions regarding accountability and authenticity, prompting several influential studios and collaborators to reconsider their ties with the actress.
We got to spend a minute on Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, okay? I know the ruthless fellas have been all up in this business. And, no, but seriously, have you followed it at all?
A little bit. It's all over the tabloids, so you got to see it a little bit. I don't know if you're an
all
expert,
over the tabloids.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so for those of you, just a quick two-liner for those of you not following it. They started this movie, It Ends With Us, about domestic violence. It was his movie that he bought the rights for from the woman who wrote the book, Colleen Hoover. Then he managed to convince Blake Lively to star in it with him, and all hell broke loose. She claims he harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryan Reynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her, and he claims none of that is true. There was absolutely no harassment. Those are made-up claims. She wrested his movie away from him and decided to try to hurt him with petty, made-up, out-of-context complaints.
We've done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it.
Does this not look like two people who caught feelings for each other? Does it not? Does you? The evidence never lies, okay? Read it all.
Hollywood insiders have reportedly distanced themselves from Blake Lively after a controversial leaked video surfaced, sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry. The footage, which appears to contradict the star's long-established polished public persona, has ignited a fierce debate among critics, fans, and industry figures alike. Insiders say that the contents of the video have raised serious questions regarding accountability and authenticity, prompting several influential...
She and her husband are bullies, and now it's resulted in vicious cross litigations against both of them. The New York Times is being sued for defamation by Baldoni through his lawyer, Brian Friedman, who's also my attorney, who's been on the show. And it's as vicious as it can get. In Hollywood, my own position is she's absolutely ruined her brand. She has started a fight she cannot win. She does appear like an Amber Heard to me. I have yet to see one of her complaints borne out. In fact, all of the ones I've seen have been undermined by his hardcore proof in text messaging and so on that puts a totally different light on her horrific allegations. Then you see what she actually said and wrote. It's very different. She called herself Khaleesi and said Ryan Reynolds and we believe Taylor Swift were her dragons. And she's got the best dragons because they'll fight on behalf of her friends. Now she and Taylor are reportedly on the outs because Taylor Swift is like, bitch, I'm nobody's dragon. That's unconfirmed, but it's out there. And today we see some evidence now that Blake Lively may have a history of not being upfront when she gets cast in a movie, of her secret desires to actually play a much bigger role than that of...
Known for her poised image and carefully managed career, Lively now finds herself at the center of a storm that challenges the industry's standards and expectations. While fervent supporters call for a more measured response, many are demanding decisive action. This script dissects the unfolding controversy in detail, exploring the origins of the leak, the ripple effects across Hollywood, and the broader implications for celebrity culture and accountability. The controversy began when an anonymous source leaked a video that has since become the focal point of heated discussions both on social media and in industry circles. Observers note that the footage reveals moments and conversations that appear at odds with the public image Lively has cultivated over the years. In meetings and interviews...
What point did it become clear to you that Blake Lively was the aggressor in this now epic showdown? Was it right after was it when Baldoni dropped the countersuit? Was it when Brian Friedman put up the website with the 170 pages and all the text? Or was it right away when the Times wrote?
Right away. I've always had an intuition about her, and I've always had an intuition about Taylor Swift and like the branding of the nice girl stuff. I knew how she grew up. I knew that she kind of is one of these people. What tends to be the case is that when you grow up with everything, you create things out of nothing because you're looking for struggle in your life and you're used to getting whatever it is that you want. So I just kind of had her down to a prototype and said, I'm going to pump the brakes and see what happens. And then when Brian Friedman came back with the facts, they were just undeniable. And it contextualized everything. And it really was quite horrific because you just go, what kind of a monster even goes through with this CRD filing and doesn't include the proper context?
The controversy began when an anonymous source leaked a video that has since become the focal point of heated discussions both on social media and in industry circles. Observers note that the footage reveals moments and conversations that appear at odds with the public image Lively has cultivated over the years. In meetings and interviews following the leak, several industry executives expressed disbelief that someone of her stature could be involved in a situation that challenges long-held expectations of decorum and professionalism. Rumors quickly circulated that the video contained material deemed unacceptable by a segment of Hollywood's elite, prompting a rapid and coordinated response from key players in the industry. The leaked content has been analyzed frame by
the 2022 Forbes Power Women's Summit.
I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt...
The leaked content has been analyzed frame by several experts, who insist that the context of the footage remains murky, yet its implications are undeniable. Critics argue that the video not only tarnishes Lively's reputation, but also sets a dangerous PR precedent in an era when digital content can be weaponized to dismantle careers. Some insiders have speculated that the motivations behind the leak might extend beyond personal vendettas, suggesting a calculated move to shake the foundations of celebrity culture itself. The controversy has raised pertinent questions about privacy, the nature of public scrutiny, and the responsibility that comes with fame. 5. In response to the growing backlash, several high-profile
We need to talk about this whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni stuff because I have a lot to say.
We talked about it a little before,
but there's more.
But there's a lot that's come out because now there's this anti-Blake campaign that's going on.
Really?
And I'm low-key living for it.
I'm starting to think about just Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, everybody's love them, they're so attractive, love their goofy relationship, but now I'm starting to think the way they treat each other online in front of everybody, I'm like, what is it like behind closed doors? I bet you're both awful people. I bet you're both just really terrible. Because the interview that she did, I don't know it was an Australian reporter, or she did that interview with a reporter.
Oh yeah.
And the reporter had known she was pregnant. And said, oh, I love your bump. And then she goes, love your bump. And I was like, okay, well, that was crazy.
That's a wild remark to also hit back with.
Yeah.
I know. And the reporter's like, I wanted to cry in that interview. I was like, I would have wanted to cry too. Imagine Blake Lively pokes at your pop out.
In response to the growing backlash, several high-profile studios and production houses have reportedly severed ties with Lively, citing a need to protect their brands from the fallout. A prominent Hollywood producer commented on the situation during a closed-door industry meeting, stating that the decision was based on an accumulation of factors that went far beyond the mere existence of the video. The move to cancel further projects with the actress is seen as part of a broader trend within Hollywood, where maintaining a pristine public image is as critical as the artistic merit of one's work. Analysts point out that this is not an isolated incident, but a reflection of a cultural shift toward heightened accountability in the entertainment world. Meanwhile, Lively's public relations team has maintained a measured...
I know this gets overused now, but she did FAFO. Like, she thought she could blame all of her negative press on him. He's a weakling. She's Blake Lively with Ryan Reynolds, her dragon. And she decided, I can't take 1 month worth of negative press, which she got, generated, she says, by him. He says, by you and your badness. And she's so thin-skinned, look what happens to you. Look what happened to poor Jake Cal even on this show. People get picked on when they're in the public eye, right? Like, just Google Megyn Kelly. You'll see terrible articles about me. It's part of being in the public eye. She's just used to being Hollywood's golden girl. And she had such thin skin that after having a couple negative things happen to her for a month, she had to blame him. She decided to blame him. And boy, did she open up a hornet's nest and learn, be careful what you wish for, because now you've got the fight you asked for and you're not winning it.
Meanwhile, Lively's public relations team has maintained a measured stance, urging the media and the public to wait for all the facts before passing judgment. In press statements, they have reiterated her commitment to her craft and emphasized that the contents of the video are being taken out of context. Yet, the narrative of cancel culture is hard to shake, as commentators continue to debate whether this represents a genuine need for accountability or an overzealous reaction fueled by the viral nature of social media. As discussions rage on various platforms, a growing segment of observers is calling for a more nuanced understanding of the events, cautioning against swift conclusions.
We are seeing the downfall of Blake Lively before our very eyes.
So this week, Blake Lively and her companies are under a lot of controversy because she decided to exploit domestic violence victims to promote her brands. And now the whole internet is doing a lot of deep dives to expose her past. And I want to talk about it today because I'm not sure why we're shocked that the woman who had a plantation wedding has had repeated rumored drama on all the sets she works on, gave Harvey Weinstein a pretty glowing review during his downfall, and much more we'll cover is surprisingly not that great of a person. Like, come on, Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds have always given like high school quarterback and head cheerleader who peaked in high school that were always like passive aggressively mean to you, but like had this nice branding person, like, oh, she's so nice, but she's not. Like, she'll just turn a corner and be so rude behind closed doors. And just like those two kids from your high school that eventually got married, never moved out, and never had to develop as people, they are so out of touch and they just don't care.
Have come forward, acknowledging the brilliance she brought to their projects while also expressing regret over the decision to disassociate from her. The ripple effect of the cancellation is evident not only in the immediate loss of work for the actress, but also in the broad debate about the criteria used to judge public figures in the digital age. Scholars and critics alike are now revisiting the definition of accountability in an era where a single moment can be magnified into a career-ending scandal. The repercussions of this episode are expected to extend well beyond Blake Lively's personal career trajectory. Some industry experts argue that the incident will force a critical reassessment of how Hollywood handles controversies, particularly those that arise from leaked or unofficial sources. In boardrooms and strategic meetings,
are a very suspicious couple. I get weird vibes from them. I have for a very long time. Why does Ryan Reynolds need to be the CEO of like a jillion companies? First of all, he's a perfectly successful actor. There are celebrities who you don't have any opinions on, and that's because they're not doing PR. And when there's celebrities who are doing PR for themselves and you are being trained to have a certain opinion about them, that's when I get suspicious. And may I remind you that they met on the set of Green Lantern, and they were both in relationships when they met.
Ooh.
And
you hate to see that. You really hate to see that.
And then mysteriously a year later they weren't.
The repercussions of this episode are expected to extend well beyond Blake Lively's personal career trajectory. Some industry experts argue that the incident will force a critical reassessment of how Hollywood handles controversies, particularly those that arise from leaked or unofficial sources. In boardrooms and strategic meetings, executives are now contemplating the balance between protecting their investments and upholding the values of fairness and transparency. This controversy has thus emerged as a litmus test for the industry's evolving relationship with media ethics, digital privacy, and the boundaries of personal expression. The case has sparked lively discussions about the role of social media in amplifying such incidents and whether current practices adequately safeguard the reputation.
Absolutely no feelings about this guy, Justin Baldoni. In fact, to be perfectly honest, I reviewed some of his social media, and he seems kind of ridiculous with his toxic masculinity, lamentations, and so on. But that's fine. That's me. So I'm not on his side. But my point is simply, I just don't see it. In their incendiary complaint, where they're trying to do their best to bash him and the PR team, I don't see that the second loop closed of, and then here's where they did it. It's just all supposition. They don't have these great texts saying, look what I got placed in the New York Post.
Moreover, this incident has served as a catalyst for broader industry reforms. In the wake of the scandal, several advocacy groups have begun to lobby for clearer guidelines regarding the handling of leaked digital content and the subsequent repercussions for those implicated. Legal experts are weighing in on the matter, debating whether current laws provide sufficient protection for individuals whose private moments are thrust into the public arena without consent. These discussions have ignited a call for more robust regulatory frameworks that can balance the rights of public figures with the demands of a vigilant media landscape. As legislators and industry watchdogs deliberate on potential reforms, the Blake Lively controversy stands as a stark reminder of the evolving dynamics of fame and
She was trashed by the royal family. And in 2021, Blake Lively's husband Ryan Reynolds, without telling her, purchased a football team in the United Kingdom with Rob McElhenney for $3 million. And because the football team is based in Wrexham, has gotten a lot of love from the royal family, where King Charles has attended the game several times and Ryan Reynolds has formed a friendship with him. In the meantime, Blake Lively's focused more and more on business, with one big example being Betty Booze, which is a line of non-alcoholic sparkling drinks she launched because, like myself, she's never actually drank alcohol. Around the time of the Betty Booze launch, Kate Middleton wasn't really seen at any public events and also released this very strange photo of her with her kids. And that's because the photo wasn't really Kate Middleton with her kids and was a complete Photoshop job where many people thought Kate Middleton might have passed away, and there were a lot of conspiracies around it. Because that, Blake Lively posted this on Instagram, which was a clearly Photoshopped image of her marketing Betty Booze to try and promote the brand and also make fun of Kate Middleton. Then Kate Middleton looked very stupid very quickly because it was revealed she was being treated for cancer. Blake Lively did apologize, but the royals seem upset, which is why they haven't attended any games for Ryan.
The impact of the leaked video is not limited to immediate cancellations and contractual voids. It has also prompted a wider reflection on the nature of celebrity and the transient nature of public favor. In past decades, personal indiscretions might have been swept under the rug or met with quiet forgiveness, but today the digital age ensures that every action is subject to public scrutiny. The episode has thus become emblematic of the modern era's unforgiving standards, where a single lapse, whether intentional or not, can spell the end of a meticulously built career. This dramatic shift underscores the challenges that celebrities face in maintaining authenticity while navigating an environment.
Baldoni has come with receipts. Lively is finished. He has said that the New York Times basically cherry-picked and altered communications and didn't give any context to anyone, which is true. He has text messages of Blake asking him to come to her trailer while she was breastfeeding so that they could discuss the next scene. He also has correspondence of Blake asking for the costumes to be sexier in the film, which really doesn't corroborate any of these claims she's been making about the fact that he was sexually exploitative. His lawyers have said, while their side embraces partial truths, we embrace the full truth, and we have all of the communications to back it. Public will decide for themselves, as they did when this first begun. And this is the same journalist that took down Harvey Weinstein that released Blake's article, so Baldoni wouldn't be trying to take them down if he did not have the receipts. This is Mean Girl Blake coming out. It didn't go her way, she tried to fight it, but Baldoni is showing that he's not going to back down.
In the midst of the turmoil, several industry veterans have called for a measured approach that considers both the merits and the missteps of the situation. They emphasize the need for a fair process that does not simply rely on public opinion, but instead involves a thorough review of all available evidence. Behind closed doors, discussions are underway to determine whether the cancellation represents a necessary stand for ethical standards or a reactionary measure that could have long-term implications for creative freedom. This internal debate is expected to shape the future policies of talent management and crisis resolution in Hollywood. The long-term effects on Lively's career remain uncertain. While some industry insiders believe that redemption may be possible if the controversy is addressed candidly and constructively, others remain skeptical, arguing that the damage may be irreparable. The situation has underscored the volatility of fame in the modern era, where the margin for error is increasingly slim and the public's memory is short. For Blake Lively, the current crisis represents both a challenge and a turning point, a moment that will define not only her personal journey but also the broader cultural conversation about accountability, authenticity, and the price of celebrity in the digital age. 12. Throughout the ongoing debate, industry analysts continue to dissect.
Now, sources close to Blake and Ryan claim that they didn't attend in any relation to any of the legal drama, but this was a decision that they made a while back. But if anybody knows anything about lawsuits, they're not filed in 24 hours. It does take some time to actually put everything together and file the lawsuit. Or, as in her case, the legal complaint that she originally filed in California before the lawsuit. But could it be possible that they just decided to boycott the Golden Globes because of the rejection to have Blake be a presenter? Or is it possible that the lawsuit was spearheaded by Blake suddenly being rejected by Hollywood after all her bad press? Because even right now, she has no other film projects in the works, with exception for A Simple Favor 2 starring Anna Kendrick, but that sequel has just been announced, or has just been confirmed as a straight-to-streaming on Amazon Prime. That's not even going to be in.
Throughout the ongoing debate, industry analysts continue to dissect every element of the leaked video, attempting to piece together a narrative that can account for the drastic actions taken by Hollywood's decision-makers. The video's content, timing, and the subsequent media frenzy have all contributed to a scenario that is as complex as it is polarizing. As more details emerge, the public remains captivated by the unfolding drama, with each new revelation adding layers to an already intricate story. Every stakeholder, from media critics to legal experts and devoted fans, watches intently, aware that the outcome may well redefine the parameters of celebrity culture.